How to cure laziness. You've tried everything. You've read all the self-help books, made to-do lists till your eyes bleed, and added inspirational quotes to your Instagram feed. But there you are, still procrastinating and feeling lazy. What's going on? Well, it turns out that laziness isn't a character flaw or something you're born with. It's an emotion that can be overcome by changing how you think about work and yourself. Here are some simple strategies I use every day to help me get things done without blaming myself for being lazy. Realize that you're not inherently lazy. If you find yourself feeling lazy, it's important to remember that laziness is a learned behavior. You can't change your personality, but you can learn new habits. It's also essential to be kind to yourself. If you're feeling lazy, chances are high that the root of your laziness stems from something else entirely. For example, maybe you don't want to go outside because it's raining and wet outside, or maybe it's too hot inside, or maybe there are no activities available in your area that interest you at all, and who could blame them? No matter what causes your current state of laziness, remember that having an open mind will help lead to solutions that work for everyone involved, including yourself. Learn the real causes of laziness. Laziness is often a symptom of something else. It's not a character flaw or personality trait, and it's not a mental illness or moral failing. It's also important to remember that being lazy doesn't mean you're not good at anything. Everyone has bad days and days when nothing seems to go right. But if you find yourself constantly falling into the trap of laziness, take the time to reflect on what the real causes are behind your behavior. Gain perspective with a simple but powerful question. One way to gain perspective is to ask yourself if you're really lazy. Are there other factors contributing to your laziness? Do you work hard at other things in your life? Do you have a lot of responsibilities and commitments that are taking away from your free time? If so, then perhaps the problem isn't that you're lazy but rather that life is just too stressful for any one person. Practice mindfulness by paying attention to what's going on inside and around you. This can help improve self-awareness and clear up misconceptions about yourself or others. Another way to gain perspective is by seeking out those who are experiencing similar hardships as yours so they can offer insight into how they've overcome their problems and offer strategies for dealing with them or coping mechanisms. It's also good practice for putting their experience into context within the greater scheme of things. No matter how bad it seems now, things will get better eventually. Connect with your inner motivation. You are not inherently lazy. The causes of laziness are a byproduct of your environment, mindset, and habits. It's easy to get stuck in the trap of self-blame and feel like you're doomed forever. But this is not true. You can take responsibility for changing your life for the better by making a few small changes in your daily routine that will lead to lasting behavioral change. Asking yourself one simple question can help you overcome laziness. What result do I want? For example, perhaps you want more energy throughout the day so that you don't feel tired or sleepy when doing tasks around the house or at work. Or maybe it's time management skills so that everything gets done on time without being rushed at 11 p.m. just before bedtime because there were too many distractions earlier in the day. Example, Facebook. Take responsibility and empower yourself. Take responsibility for your own life. Empower yourself by taking action. Empowerment is a process, not an event. Empowerment is a tool for success. Create an action plan. Creating an action plan is one of the best ways to cure laziness. If you have a goal that you want to achieve, but are finding it difficult to take action on, don't worry. We've got some tips for you. First and foremost, write down your plan. It's important that this step is specific and measurable so that there's no room for ambiguity in what you're trying to accomplish. The more detailed your action plan is, the better chance of achieving success at reaching your goal. Next up, make sure each step has a time frame associated with it so that every task can be completed in a reasonable amount of time, about 2 to 3 weeks. This will give clarity on when exactly each stage needs completion by, as well as allowing flexibility if unforeseen circumstances arise during the process, like having to stay late at work one day. You'll also want resources listed out here so everyone knows who they need help from if needed. This could include people or tools required like software programs or tools needed like hammers/screwdrivers/ etc. Be kind to yourself. Being kind to yourself is a skill you can learn through practice. The more you practice, the easier it becomes to be kind to yourself when you feel discouraged or frustrated. Be aware of what compassion means. According to Lisa Firestone, PsyD, and author of How to Be a Woman Who Takes Care of Herself and Others, a self-care guide for women who want to feel better about themselves and don't have time, self-compassion means understanding that we all have flaws and failures in life, but at the same time, we are worthy as human beings simply because we exist. So being compassionate toward yourself doesn't mean ignoring your mistakes, it means acknowledging them without judgment or shame. As Firestone says, you don't have to be perfect, just try your best. Practice self-compassion by doing one small thing every day that makes you feel better, like buying yourself flowers after an especially hard day. Track your practice. As you begin to take steps towards self-improvement, it's important that you remain kind to yourself as well. Don't be too hard on yourself if things aren't going smoothly, you can always get back up and try again. And don't compare yourself to others, everyone is on their own path. You can get over laziness and procrastination without being mean to yourself. Procrastination and laziness are often a result of feelings of guilt, shame, or low self-esteem. It can be difficult to recognize these emotions because they're not always obvious, but they're there. Because procrastination and laziness are rooted in negative feelings about yourself, it's important to remember that you don't need to feel bad about yourself for being lazy sometimes. You're human. And humans have limits, like all living things. If you notice that something is making you feel bad about yourself, it might just be time to take a break and focus on something else for a while until that feeling passes. In summary, we live in a society that is obsessed with productivity and time management. This is not surprising, given global competition and the need for personal growth. However, we must remember that even the most successful people have days when they can't get anything done. In fact, a certain amount of laziness is normal and healthy. It allows us time to rest and rejuvenate before diving back into our work. When truly excessive laziness sets in though, it can be an indicator that something bigger might be wrong, and it's worth taking note.